Quote, "To be one with the world is wisdom." Meaning of the quote. This quote suggests that true wisdom comes from recognizing and experiencing our deep connection with everything around us, nature, people, and the universe. It's about dissolving the illusion of separation and understanding that we're not isolated beings but integral parts of a larger whole. This deceptively simple quote carries profound depth. It encapsulates the idea that the highest form of understanding, wisdom, doesn't come just from accumulating knowledge or mastering logic, but from feeling a deep connection with all existence. It's a wisdom that is lived, not just learned. Spiritual perspective. From a spiritual viewpoint, this quote points toward the dissolution of the ego and the embrace of unity. Most spiritual traditions teach that the source of human suffering lies in the illusion of separation, me versus them, human versus nature, inside versus outside. To be one with the world is to transcend those divisions. It's a state where you don't just walk through a forest, you are part of the forest. You don't just help others, you feel their pain and joy as your own. You don't just meditate for peace, you become peace. This wisdom doesn't shout, it listens. It doesn't dominate, it harmonizes. It recognizes that the same spark of life that flows through your breath also flows through the wind, rivers, animals, and even strangers. When you live in this awareness, every moment becomes sacred, and every action becomes a prayer of presence. Scientific perspective. Science, too, is catching up to what the ancient sages always intuited. From various disciplines, we see that the idea of being one with the world is not mystical fluff, it's observable, measurable, and real. Physics, quantum and astrophysics. At the quantum level, particles are entangled. What happens to one can affect another instantly, regardless of distance. Every atom in your body came from ancient stars, literally making us stardust. Biology and ecology, ecosystems show us that everything is interdependent. A tree needs fungi in its roots, bees for pollination, soil for nutrients, and sunlight for growth. We are no different. Human bodies are symbiotic ecosystems themselves. We carry trillions of microbes essential to our health. Neuroscience, mirror neurons in the brain allow us to empathize. We're hardwired to feel what others feel. Mental well-being improves when we feel connected. Social isolation is now shown to be as harmful as smoking. In sum, wisdom from a scientific lens is recognizing the profound interconnectivity of all things and acting in accordance with that truth. Let's bring this wisdom to life through a short story. There was once a wise old gardener who lived on the edge of a village. People admired his lush garden filled with flowers, fruits, birds, and butterflies. One day, a young scholar visited and asked, "What's your secret? How did you learn all this?" The gardener simply pointed to a worm wriggling in the soil, a bee buzzing on a flower, and the clouds in the sky. He said, "The worm aerates the soil, the bee pollinates the flower, and the clouds bring the rain. I did not learn from books. I watched. I listened. I realized I am not separate from this world. I am a thread in its great tapestry. I do not control it. I dance with it." The scholar, with all his learning, sat in silence and understood, true wisdom is not control, but communion. Application in everyday life. So how do we live this quote, to be one with the world, in our messy, modern routines? In relationships, practice deep listening. When we truly hear someone without judgment, we begin to feel with them, not just for them. Recognize that your joy is tied to the joy of others. Helping others thrive helps us too. In nature, spend time outdoors, not just to relax, but to connect. Notice the wind, the birds, the earth under your feet. Make small choices that reflect your part in the whole. Reduce waste, recycle, support sustainability. In conflict or stress, ask yourself, am I reacting from fear of separation or responding from connection? Let go of needing to win. Wisdom often lies in harmony, not in dominance. In work and ambition, success isn't only climbing higher, it's also lifting others as you rise. Collaboration yields more than competition when we remember we're all rowing the same boat. In yourself, meditate or reflect regularly, not to escape the world, but to remember your place in it. Cultivate humility. The rain doesn't fall just for you, but you benefit because it falls for all. To be one with the world means to live with awareness, compassion, and humility. It's not about disappearing into the crowd, it's about remembering that your existence matters because it's connected to everything else. And in this connection, we find peace, not just for ourselves, but for the world. Thank you for joining this exploration of wisdom. If this message resonated with you, like, share, and subscribe for more insights into timeless truths. Remember, every great journey begins with a single step, and every great idea begins with a strong foundation. See you in the next episode.